Welcome to episode 43 of the Metamagix Monster Manual and the final page of the Demon Souls chapter. In today's episode, we are going to be covering how I think you should run the Old Monk and the magic item that comes with it in D&D 5e. As a reminder, you can find a link to every single stat block and every single magic item from the Metamagix Monster Manual in the description of this video. It'll take you to my Discord where you can find downloadable pictures for free. And if you want to see all these monsters and magic items run live in action, you can jump on over to my Twitch stream where I run weekly interactive D&D campaigns featuring all items and monsters from the Metamagix Monster Manual that you, the viewer, can influence. The link to that can also be found in the description. But before we jump into any stats, let's go over the design goals for the Old Monk. Now, the Old Monk is an encounter that I wanted to design to basically fit at almost any point in a campaign. You could either have this happen at the beginning stages or in the late game stages, completely up to you. But with that, I also wanted to design this stat block to be a PvP focused encounter. You will see what I mean when we go over the stat block. So with that in mind, let us begin. So this is the Old Monk, and the Old Monk is classified as a medium fiend with the Chaotic Evil tag. It has an unknown armor class, an unknown hit point total, and an unknown movement speed. It also has while it says 10 for all stats, it is also these stats are also unknown. It has an unknown passive perception, speaks 0 languages, and is a challenge rating of 15. The only ability that the Old Monk has is carbon copy. At the start of the encounter, the Old Monk manifests itself as a copy of a random player character. This copy starts out with the same stats, maximum hit points, full spell slots, all the character's equipment, and gains access to every ability the player character has. This is actions, bonus actions, reactions, whatever the player character can do, the carbon copy can do. This copy comes equipped with the Old Monk's head wrapping, which is the magic item we will go over later. So that's essentially the entire stat block, but because this is meant to be sort of harder than just a PvP encounter, the carbon copy also gets legendary actions. The Old Monk can take 3 legendary actions, choosing from the options below. Only 1 legendary action can be used at a time, and at the end of another creature's turn, the Old Monk regains spent legendary actions at the start of its turn. And the legendary actions are melee or ranged weapon attack, where the Old Monk makes a melee or ranged weapon attack. Or it can cast a spell, which costs 2 legendary actions, so it can cast any spell in the character's repertoire if they happen to be able to cast spells. Or the Old Monk can move up to its move speed without provoking attacks of opportunity, so it will move up to whatever character it has copied move speed. So this encounter is very simple. You, the DM, get to take on the form of one of your player characters with a couple more legendary actions that they can do. Basically, you get to have your players fight themselves, but you killed the Old Monk or the clone of one of your characters. What are they going to get? They are going to get the Old Monk's head wrapping, the thing that was manifesting this creature that they fought in the first place. The Old Monk's head wrapping is a very rare helmet that requires attunement. Head wrappings that were once the golden robe of the wizened usurper of Latria, which took possession of the weary old man. The wearer of these wrappings enjoys a boost to magic power, but at the expense of receiving increased damage from magic. You gain a +1 bonus to AC while wearing these head wrappings. And while wearing these head wrappings, you may roll an additional damage die when calculating the damage from any spells you cast. Consequently, you also take an additional damage die when any magic damage is dealt to you. This can be either magic damage from a melee weapon that happens to be considered magical, ranged magical damage. Any type of magic damage, you take an additional damage die, so there is some risk reward to this helmet, which is especially true since spellcasters typically already have a low HP pool, but this will allow them to boost their damage nonetheless. But guys, that is how I think you should run the Old Monk and the Old Monk's head wrappings in D&D 5e. This will conclude the Demon Souls chapter of the Metamagix Monster Manual. If you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed this series in general, be sure to leave this video a like, leave any comments or questions you have in the description down below, and subscribe if you haven't for more content. We have a lot more Metamagix Monster Manual chapters coming up. Do not miss any of them, guys. But until next time, have fun, stay safe, and as always, happy gaming.